Another day, another YZY Gap product that I forgot I ordered came in the mail. I'm not used to this like 4 to 6, 8 week turnaround time since like the antisocial social club days, which I'm glad are over. But here we are. I am wearing it right now, the YZY Gap Hoodie, Don the Perfect Hoodie. And the question is this thing as perfect as Kanye says it is? Let's find out. All right, guys, now that you've seen a closer look of that bad boy right there, this bad boy right here, I should say, welcome to the channel. My name is Steve. We talk sneakers and now fashion too. So join the family if you want to. Check out the links down in the description below. They help out the channel as well as links to cop these bad boys from eBay. Now, this hoodie, the YZY Gap Hoodie, is really dope in a lot of ways because in my mind, I can clearly remember Kanye in the early days of Yeezy with Adidas and everything, always talking about how he wanted to make the most accessible products for people. And it took the better part of a decade now that we finally have easy to get products at a good price point that are still pretty well built. I mean, really, and it's great. It's amazing to see that vision come to fruition. Of course, now the Netflix documentary is happening, and it's really cool to go back and see just where we were and he was to now. It's been a crazy, wild ride, obviously, but you can't deny the success and you can't deny the ingenuity and the empire building he's done, right? And it's kind of culminated into this. A hoodie that just about anybody can afford. Not $600 hoodies that were made in Italy for the Yeezy season lines and all that crazy stuff, nor hard to get sneakers that are constantly hyped and you have to pay resale for. This is a very accessible item from someone that has really built a reputation on being inaccessible, right? The exclusivity of Yeezy stuff has been what's driven most of the hype, but that's not to take away from the cultural force that is Kanye West. Don't get me wrong. There's a reason for all of this stuff. So here we are, the hoodie. Let's get the con out of the way. There's one thing that I really don't like about this hoodie, and that is the way it was delivered. It's kind of wild, actually. I mean, the blue round jacket, for instance, I mean, that showed up in a box, kind of bundled up like a used baby diaper, but at least it had a bag over it, right? This thing came in just this box right here, which was beat up, and that's not necessarily the Yeezy people's fault. I get this, probably the UPS, whatever, but that's all it was. No packing slip, no receipt, nothing that would indicate that this even came from them, and the hoodie itself literally just folded up in the box. Like not even a plastic bag to kind of keep it clean. So when you see the close-up shots and you see the little brown specks, I pulled this thing right out of the box and put it on the hook and shot the footage because I wanted you guys to see exactly how it came. And that was pretty annoying. I understand maybe it's more economical or maybe more eco-friendly to ship it that way, but I want at least a little bit of protection for the item that I'm buying, even if that item is only $90, right? I get it, it's not high-end, but still. All right, that's out of the way. So the hoodie itself. Now, I've been obviously wearing hoodies almost my entire life. I have bought hoodies for $20. I've bought hoodies for $200+, and I really wanted to just compare and contrast this hoodie, Don the Perfect Hoodie, to all those other ones I've had from respectable brands, right? So here is one hoodie you see me rock on the channel a lot. This is a Billionaire Boys Club hoodie, and I've had this one for about, I'd say 6 or 7 years, and it's held up really well. It's a high quality hoodie. It's got a nice weight to it. I'm a big fan. I think I probably back in, 2015 dollars, maybe it was, paid about 175, 180, maybe close to 200. You can imagine that it's probably higher now. I have another Kith hoodie that I wear on this channel a lot. It's a green one. That one is also very high quality. I'm very much pleased with that quality as well. The antisocial social club hoodies I own, those were pretty high quality too. I mean, the one is fraying on the logo, but the hoodie itself, the material is nice and it's super comfortable and it's got a nice weight to it. Reigning Champ, one of my favorite brands for kind of basics like hoodies and joggers and things. Those are really high quality, mid to heavy weight cottons that they use as well. And also a gray Lululemon hoodie that I rock on the channel a lot that gets a lot of compliments is it's probably my favorite hoodie. It's my favorite one in my rotation in my closet because it's unbelievably comfortable, still super soft, fits amazing. And I got to say, this thing really does feel like a different level. I mean, we're talking about weight alone, right? We can judge the quality of a lot of things based on the weight, and clothing is one of those things, because you know it's just more expensive to have a heavier weight t-shirt, hoodie, whatever. I mean, this BBC hoodie, my Kith hoodie, the Reigning Champ hoodies, they are all high quality, they all feel nice, they all have a really good weight to them, but none of them are like this. This thing has pounds on it. And to illustrate that, when I first put the hoodie on the boom stand you see in the shots here, it immediately fell over, completely tipped over. This thing holds cameras, holds lights, and usually I don't have an issue with that. I actually had to put a 20-pound dumbbell, the ones you see in the background there, on the legs of that boom stand just to hold this hoodie up and be able to get those shots. That's how heavy this thing is. You feel it immediately and it feels amazing. And you can even tell just by looking at the material and feeling it with your hands, like this is not a faux super high quality, super soft t-shirt or hoodie that you see for a decent price, but then eventually just falls apart and frays and looks like crap. This one really does feel like one of the nicest hoodies I've ever bought, and it's crazy that it was sub $100, to be honest. Now, ironically, on the day that I got this, the YZY Gap Balenciaga collection dropped, so I saw the hoodies on there and I did order one, so we'll see how it compares, but that one is almost 3 times the cost of this. So this was $90 retail, that is $240 retail, and the cut in the silhouette looks roughly the same. It's gonna be really interesting to see what that feels like in hand compared to this, because this feels amazing, and unless that one really blows me away, I mean, unless you really need to have that faded Gap logo in the wings logo thing happening on the back, is it really worth it? 240 bucks? I probably was gonna say no. So we'll see, time will tell. Of course, I will drop that video in the future for you guys as well. Now, most importantly here, and as a guy who's 6'1", 255, I've been in the larger range, I've been a little bit slimmer, but I consider myself a big guy. So it really matters for me personally how certain items fit. Certain brands, it just doesn't look well. Unfortunately, some hoodies and sweaters will accentuate parts of my body that I don't want accentuated. I feel like the most striking thing visually about this hoodie is the cropped waist, right? It's definitely higher than most hoodies, but man, does this thing make a difference. And it's something I was really unexpected. First of all, comfort-wise, this thing just kind of slips on and sits exactly where it should sit, and it's great. It feels so good in terms of just the feeling you get. So the comfort level here is phenomenal. This is something that obviously I like to wear out and go on about my day, but then lounging in this thing is fantastic. I don't feel like I need to swap this out after a day for something more cozy to hang out and, you know, watch some Netflix or whatever. This thing is really a do-it-all hoodie in terms of how it feels when it's on. Now, how does it look? This is what gets me really excited about this hoodie for me personally. I don't know if the sleeves are elongated. I would imagine that they are a little bit longer than standard hoodies, but I feel like it's probably a little exaggerated visually because of the cropped nature of the hoodie itself, though it definitely does feel like it's a little elongated, because a lot of times I can really get some wrist showing if I hold my arms out, and this one is like, it's almost like it's tailored for me. So in terms of sizing and whatnot, I did the extra large, which is probably what I would do getting a normal hoodie anyway, and this one is supposed to be an oversized fit, and it is a little oversized, but I flip-flop between extra large and 2XL depending on the brand. So again, I'm 6'1", about 255, so keep that in mind in terms of figuring out the sizing. I didn't want this to be too oversized. I'm not a big fan of the oversized look. This one just fits me just right. I'm a big fan of the way it fits and feels. I mean, really, I am kind of blown away. I was ready to be a little disappointed. Yes, you know, it's a very hyped item and it's Gap or whatever, and all of these preconceptions kind of came into how I thought I was gonna feel about this hoodie, but I am very ready and willing to buy more, and I went with black because that's really my go-to color, either black or like a dark gray, but I am now going to be very much into other colors because of the way this fits and looks. One of my favorite things about the look that it gives you, I don't know if it's something to do with the torso being shorter or what, but I feel like this hoodie does a fantastic job of giving you a more broader look across the shoulders and chest, and then giving you that kind of V cut on your torso that everybody wants, right? Whether we have it physically or not, we want clothes that kind of accentuate our shoulders and chest and then kind of taper down, or at least give us the illusion of a tapered down look. That's what this does for me. So many times, hoodies that maybe they hang too low or they're just too boxy, the way that they fall around my waist would accentuate my waist more than my shoulders and chest, and obviously that's not where my strengths are. And for a lot of people too, you'd rather this area be accentuated so you look bigger and tougher and just better looking overall. That's what this hoodie does, and that is why I'm going to be getting one more in black and definitely looking into getting some other colors, because this thing really does do the trick for me. I think visually one of the other cool things about this is where the front pocket is and how it sits a little bit higher. It reminds me of one of my favorite rain jackets. It's a Ralph Lauren rain jacket, and it's got two higher pockets kind of just below the chest, and it's really comfortable to hang out right here. It's just a nice feel. This one is not as high, but it's high enough where it kind of gives me that same feel where I don't feel like my arms are all the way down, like my elbows aren't extended to hang out in the front pocket here. It's a nice, comfortable feeling there. And visually, I think it looks cool, right? It kind of goes with that exaggerated look of the torso, right? We're cropped, and then this thing even comes up even higher. I mean, where the top of this pouch is like just below my chest, and that's not something you usually see on hoodies. So, but it really does kind of have a cool visual effect, and I feel like it gives it a nice, tailored, very kind of the moment trendy look. It'll be interesting to see where this kind of fit and look goes in the next coming years. I mean, who knows? In 5 years, are we gonna look at this the same way we look at like those butt wipe tees from the early 2010s? I mean, I don't know, but we'll see. One of the things you'll notice about the construction of this hoodie are the hems. So the hems on the wrists here and then along the bottom, they are definitely longer than your standard hoodie, but I think that also lends to the kind of cool proportions that this hoodie creates. It's not quite advisory board crystal long in terms of the hems, but it definitely is longer than normal, and I think that lends to a cool effect you get with the sleeves. It kind of gives it maybe a little more of a tailored look or tailored feel. I definitely think the hem around the waist kind of creates that nice visual effect of broadening up here and then tapering down. It really, really pulls it off nicely, and maybe I'm just lucky that I got like the perfect torso length that this thing really works well for, but I feel like even on Kanye and other people that I've seen wearing these, it kind of has that effect on people who all have very different types of bodies, at least from what I can tell on Instagram. Now, I know you can probably find measurements for this hoodie online, and that's going to be easy to Google or whatever, but sometimes it can differ with the actual product in hand. So I do have measurements that I took that you can see right here, so hopefully that helps you out. But I really feel like in terms of it being a true to size, for me, it kind of worked out. But again, I can go between XL and 2XL, so keep that in mind. This is definitely an oversized fit. It looks like the Balenciaga ones are going to be more of an oversized fit. When you look at just the product photos, that one looks like there's a lot more billowiness happening. So that's probably one that I maybe will try a large in if the extra large is too big, if I want to keep that hoodie, because I'm telling you, if it doesn't absolutely blow me away, I don't think it's worth going for that over this one. This one really is, I hate to say it, but the perfect hoodie. I mean, it's close. One thing from a nostalgic standpoint that this does remind me of is because of the way this hoodie sits, whether you have a longer hemline tee or not, your t-shirt underneath is going to be coming out the bottom. And that just really reminds me of 90s skate culture. I remember being in middle school, and that was definitely the look. You'd rock a hoodie, you'd have your nice baggy t-shirt hanging out the bottom with your jeans or whatever. So I was immediately brought back to the 90s, and I don't know if that was intentional or not, but it's just something that came to me. So if you were hesitant about this hoodie, if you feel like it wasn't worth the hype or worth the price, considering that the resale is essentially the same as retail right now, I'm telling you guys, this thing is definitely worth checking out, especially if there's a restock, if you have options to return or whatever. This thing is super dope, and I'm very, very happy with this purchase, and I'm really interested to see how the Balenciaga collaboration is going to hold up, because this thing is more or less perfect. And again, it's so great to have a Yeezy product that is easy to get and affordable, but of course, then he goes and puts Donda 2 on the stem player, so, you know, it's almost like we can't have it all. I, though, am very pleased, and I'm really impressed that Kanye has really done what he set out to do already with kind of reviving Gap, because I know there's a ton of people who normally wouldn't even look in the direction of a Gap store that are now wearing Gap hoodies, and soon with this Balenciaga collaboration are gonna be wearing Gap hoodies that say Gap across the front. But that's fashion, everything is in cycles. If you want something that doesn't fit quite as well as this and does nothing for the proportions on your body, check out the blue round jacket review I did earlier, and stay tuned for the Balenciaga Gap Yeezy collaboration. As soon as that hoodie comes in, I am dropping a review. So appreciate all of you guys. Hope you have a good day, good evening, good night, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.